Today I have the Newmark Mixtrack Platinum controller to show you. I'm Phil from Digital DJ Tips, and in the next few minutes we're going to talk through the features of this controller so you can work out if it's for you. Now, the Newmark Mixtrack Platinum is a budget controller. It's down towards the end of the market where beginners and people who are just getting going in their bedrooms are likely to be spending their money. That said, it's got everything you need. It really has got everything you need to DJ to a really high standard. It feels great to use, and it's got a really innovative feature in that there are screens built in to the jog wheels for the first time on any controller that I can think of with this kind of detail on them. So we'll have a little look at the controller's features, but I'm going to focus on those screens so you can decide whether buying a controller with this pretty unique feature built into it is the right thing for you. As you can see, it's a nicely proportioned controller. It's nice and long, so there's plenty of room to spread everything out. It's very, very similar to the Mixtrack Pro 3, all said and done. There's only a couple of differences between it and the Mixtrack Pro 3, so I'll quickly run through what you've got here in case you're not familiar with that controller, and then I'll show you the differences. So each of the decks has the jog wheel. It has a really nice long pitch fader or pitch control, which is accurate to 1/100th of a BPM, which is really nice. Down the bottom here we have control pads, and these are pretty basic compared to the control pads you get on more expensive controllers, but that said, they do most of the stuff you want. There are 4 cues here. There's manual and auto looping at the top here, and there's also a sampler here that you can control Serato sampler with. Basic control over the sampler anyway. It's a 4-deck controller, so these buttons here are for switching to decks 3 and 4, but you do need to upgrade to the Serato DJ full software package, which will cost you slightly more or slightly less than $100 depending upon when you go and do it and what offers Serato has. Quite often you can buy the controller with the full software. I've seen that on sale too, which might be cheaper than buying the software separately. So we've got the standard and quite nice controls here for play, pause, cue and sync. And at the top here, this is also very standard Serato's effects controls. There's one effects engine for each side, and it lets you turn the effects on and off and alter the LFO or the frequency at which the effects cycle here. And there's a tap button for tapping in your effects cycle frequency as well. And the effect select is when you press shift, and you can then choose which effect you have on each of these if you're using 3 separate effects rather than one big effect. But that is, as I say, is basic Serato stuff, which is the same on pretty much all Serato controllers. Now, one really nice change they've made on this controller is putting the filters at the top here for each channel, and that means that there's room now for 3-band EQ, bass, mid and treble on all channels, which is awesome because that is something that wasn't on the original Mixtrack Pro 3. That only had bass and treble, and then this control here was the filter. So that's a really nice change. Now the metering is here per channel. Per channel, if you press the cue, you'll get the cue on the channel meter that works for that particular deck. And if the cues are off, you get the full metering there for the main output, which is controlled by the master gain here. So that's really nice for DJs who like to gain stage themselves. And that's pretty much it. There's touch strips here for control as well, which is again something that's trickled down from higher end controllers. This has got pretty much all the stuff on the higher end controllers have, just in a kind of plasticier case, shrunk down a bit. Obviously the feel of the controls is not quite as good as pro controllers, but certainly for doing it, certainly for doing DJing, it's got everything you need on it. Now what everyone wants to know, of course, before we move on to the displays, I'll just quickly cover the headphones and the mic input with the mic gain here, so you can plug a microphone in. Round the back, USB and RCA outs, and that's it. Right, let's move on to those displays. That's what we all want to see, right? So the light moving round clockwise on the display is telling us that this current track is playing. This is deck 2, it says deck 2 there. If I press the deck 4 button, deck 4 is not playing and that light's not spinning around. So that's a good feature that's kind of come across from other controllers. A lot of controllers have spinning lights built into them somewhere, normally around the edge. And you can see as I'm touching the top of the jog wheel and moving that, I'm stopping the track, moving it backwards and forwards. So the one in the middle, the white one, is telling us that we're about 2/3 of the way through this track, and that's going to slowly fill up until we get towards the end, and then it'll flash to tell us we're getting near the end. The big number is the BPM, adjustable within 1/10 of a BPM up or down, although the actual adjustment is 1/100th. The number at the bottom, that's telling me I've got 1 minute 22 seconds left on this track. I can have that set to tell me the amount of time that's gone by pressing Shift and this button here, Wheel, which also controls the jog wheel behavior from scratch to nudge. So that's now telling me there's 3 minutes 57 seconds gone on this track. Also, this will tell me the key. That's telling me tell me that key lock is switched on. That's what this key thing is telling me here. There's also a little display to tell me if slip mode is switched on, and also there's little arrows that you can get to come up just to show you whether you need to move the pitch fader up or down to match the BPM of the other deck. So that's it. There's a lot more than you see on any other jog wheels, but just basic information there pulled across from the decks in your software to save you looking up to find any of that stuff out while you're DJing. So it's mighty impressive. Really, whether you go for this or not, it depends on whether those screens are something that you think are worth having. Now, if you think screens are great, but you actually would like to see more stuff on them, you'd like to see waveforms and libraries, then you're going to have to move up to more expensive controllers like the Numark NV, the Denon MCX 8000, the Tractor Control S5 and S8 are all versions of controllers that have that kind of display on them. If you don't really need that kind of extra display, you're happy using your computer to see that kind of thing, but you just like the idea of having this stuff down here so that you don't have to look all the time at your computer to see how far through the track you are and you know how much time is left and that kind of thing, then that's kind of the sweet spot they're going for. But then you might think, you know, I don't need any of that stuff. It's all there anyway on my PC. Why do I need any of that? In which case, you're paying a premium to get this. Now, the Mixtrack controllers have always been good value. That's been the thing that's caused them to be so popular over the years. Nowadays, the Pioneer controllers at that price point are slightly better value. The DDJ SB2 for Serato has got most of the features of this without those screens and is cheaper. And Pioneer's RB, which is its entry-level controller for its own software, Rekordbox DJ, is even cheaper, even more keenly priced, and you get the full version of the software as well. You don't have to upgrade the intro software that comes with this controller and with the Pioneer DDJ SB2. You don't even have to pay for an upgrade to get that to the full software because Pioneer's Rekordbox DJ, albeit not as polished as Serato, comes with the full version in the box when you buy that controller. So really down at that level of the market, you're looking at whether you're going to want to upgrade the software, you're looking at the overall amount you're spending and just tweaking the features to decide if the controller that you're thinking of has got the ones that mean the most to you. But those screens, if you want them, you can't get them on anything else right now. This is the kind of stuff that normally trickles down from more expensive controllers, but here I can see this trickling up to other controllers that cost more because it's such a useful little feature to have. So that's it, the quite impressive Numark Mixtrack Platinum. If you've enjoyed this review, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you're enjoying Digital DJ Tips, please join up. We can email you lots of goodies, including hardware, software guides, offers, and so on. There's a link below me in order to do that. Thank you for watching. I'm Phil Morse for Digital DJ Tips.